Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. The number to call in if you want to talk about this situation with Starbucks changing their new policy.
Which we didn't actually even get to what the new policy actually says.
Well, we did talk about the situation that brought us to the point of the new policy.
Right.
Right, with the two
I think it's important, though, that people actually know what the new policy says.
You'll get your chance. Just settle down. I got a telephone number to give here. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. It is Mark with you.
And Darryl.
Darryl, before you go on and tell us about all this, please tell us about the New York Marathon that you're running.
Yeah, so the New York City Marathon coming up the first weekend of November, and I'm going to be running as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. Thus far, in 2018, 7 of their clients have been exonerated.
In 2018, 7 people have.
Yes.
That shows how important their work is.
Yes, and in total, the Innocence Project has helped over 200 people wind up getting exonerated for crimes that they did not commit, and in some cases, crimes that did not even actually happen, but people were convicted for.
Oh, wow.
And with your help, they can help get even more people that have been wrongly convicted exonerated. Go to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com. And everything that gets donated through the CrowdRise platform, which is what run.freetalklive.com takes you to, all of the funds go directly to the Innocence Project. So none of the amount that gets donated goes to cover fees. You, as the donor, actually wind up covering those fees. That way, the Innocence Project or any other nonprofit that uses that platform gets all of the money that is contributed.
You won't just be running the New York Marathon with your pockets stuffed with cash, right?
I will not have any pockets during the New York City Marathon, nor any cash on me.
Let's go to the phones. Carmen calling in from Black River, Michigan. Carmen, you're on Free Talk Live.
Actually, it's Rapid River, Michigan.
All right.
Okay, I've talked to you guys a couple times along the way, but have you ever been to a business where you noticed on the door a sign that says, "We have the right to refuse business to anyone"?
Yeah, I have seen that, but I'm of the opinion that any business has that right.
Yes, and once you've been asked to leave, once you've been told we're not accepting your business, you're usually asked to leave. Once you're asked to leave, now you're breaking the law, you're trespassing, and should be arrested.
How long do you have? So I have a friend who went to jail because he didn't sit down in a courtroom quickly enough. The judge is like, "Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat," right? And within 20 seconds, he's in handcuffs.
Yes, that's a government organization. They can do what they want.
Sure.
Unfortunately. But I would say if a business asks you to leave and you continue to stay or argue, you give them a warning, you're going to call the police. And if they don't leave, you call the police. It's not a time. It's you've been told to leave, and I've asked you a second time. Now I'm calling the police.
All right, so let me sort of play devil's advocate here, which is what I've largely been doing with Mark. So let's say that I walk into that Applebee's, and they say...
Why has it got to be Applebee's? They're probably advertising during our breaks.
Well, I can't think of any other... All right, Chili's.
All right.
Because
God.
we've got one of those in Keene, too. I'm just thinking of sit-down restaurants where you walk in, and there's a hostess that says, "How many in your party?" I walk in, and they say, "How many in your party?" And I say, "I think there's going to be 3 or 4. I'm waiting on a couple of people." Can they then, if my friends don't arrive in 47 seconds, say, "Excuse me, sir, you need to leave"? Well, I'm waiting on the rest of my party, but you need to leave now. And then I get arrested because I showed up 2 minutes before my friends did?
Absolutely. They can refuse to give you service, like the sign says on the door, and they can do it for any reason. They don't have to give a reason. They can say, "We've refused service. Now we're asking you to leave."
And I guess that's what it comes down to, right? And that's pretty much what happened there. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, well, there's a little more to it.
Go ahead.
A little more to it. Okay, Starbucks is a very liberal company.
Uh-huh.
They fell victim to this racial bullcrap because that's what they believe, and they believe that everybody's going to be racial or religiously stereotyped or whatever you want to call it. And I would say, buy Black Rifle coffee. I dumped Starbucks years back. I like their coffee, but I'm not giving them any business.
So you buy something called Black Rifle coffee?
Yes, Black Rifle coffee. It's manufactured by veterans who are also very conservative, that's my bag. So I deal with them. I don't walk in. I don't even look at Starbucks anymore.
So you brew at your house then?
No. You go online, go to Black Rifle Coffee.
Right. You buy the coffee online, and then you make your coffee at your home. Okay.
Yes. You
can buy that's pretty much what I do too. Thanks for the call, Carmen.
Yeah.
For me, when the economic downturn happened, because I used to be like Carmen. Once or twice a day, I'd go to usually a Starbucks.
Frappy mocha latte chino, please. That's $17.49, please.
I actually would pay about $2 for a regular cup of coffee, and then
Hold on, Starbucks sells regular coffee? I thought all of their stuff was, some fruity something.
It was still too much. Nonetheless, when the economic downturn came, I decided, well, why am I doing this? So I just make my coffee at home. It was as good. I could buy Starbucks, by the way, and make it at home, and I did for some time. And then I found stuff that I liked better over time. Now I use a place called FreshRoastCoffee.com. They provide it very inexpensively, and just it's water decaffeinated, which makes my wife happy. So there you go.
I have no clue what that means.
Well, decaffeinated coffee is made either with formaldehyde or there is a patented water decaffeinated process.
Okay. So they wash the caffeine away?
Yeah, they wash it away.
Okay.
It's probably terrible for the environment, and God knows, but it says water instead of the unwritten formaldehyde, which is, of course, important to people that don't know much about science. Go ahead.
So jumping back into the article here from UPI, the new policy at Starbucks, which was sent via a letter to employees again on Saturday, said, quote, any person who enters our spaces, including patios, cafes, and restrooms, regardless of whether they make a purchase, is considered a customer.
Okay. So they're like a park, only they serve coffee.
Yes.
So you can just show up and you're a customer.
That's apparently what the new policy says.
Well, it gives a guideline to their managers that should help to solve these problems in the future. I could only, I think it's an unfortunate circumstance. I suspect that racial bias is somehow involved because, well, it's difficult not to have that. However, I find that I'm frustrated with the notion that you could just, if there's a certain amount of people in this world, a certain percentage of people in this world, that if you give them the race card to play, they'll play it every time, right? Like bam, bam, race card. I'm not saying that's what happened with these gentlemen. In fact, I think the opposite. But I just don't. I'm just so sick of this racism crap. Can we stop judging people this way? 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Stop playing into it on both sides.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You can call in, talk about whatever is on your mind. This live edition of Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
So, Darryl, is there anything more on this story from Starbucks, or have we pretty much wrapped it up? Starbucks is no longer a coffee company. They are now a series
No, they still sell overpriced coffee.
But they're really a series of parks where anybody who doesn't wish to buy coffee can just go in, sit down, and begin. Like they're now like a flex workspace, a no-charge flex workspace.
Well, they were already a very cheap, flexible workspace because there's a lot of people that would go and buy a coffee and then stay there for 5 hours.
Yep, sure were. How do you milk a cup of coffee? I guess that's not the best use of the language at this point. How do you stretch a cup of coffee that period of time? I don't understand it.
Well, I don't drink coffee, so I don't know.
Can you just, like a beverage, do you just leave it there and let it go? Because I tend to, if the beverage is around, this is a problem when it comes to wine, beer, coffee, these sorts of things, I will admit. But I drink it if it's there.
I will say that when I lived in San Antonio, before I moved to New Hampshire, I was kind of a cheapskate because I didn't want to pay for internet, but part of that was, I wasn't necessarily wanting to spend money on internet. There was a McDonald's like half a mile away. I would just go to the McDonald's and sometimes order a glass of, a cup of tea, and you get free refills. And I'd just keep going, getting free refills, but I'd sit there for several hours just using the internet. I was a paying customer.
Yeah, I think that's it's legit.
I milked that cup of tea as long as I could.
That's to me that's part fulfilling the social contract as far as it goes. You're walking the line, but they got bathrooms, they've got fountain tea, they've got seats. As long as you're not keeping somebody out.
Plugs.
Yep. If somebody, so for instance, in the server industry, we talk about turning tables, right. So if you're busy, you don't want people sitting and keeping the table occupied the whole time. That's a real pain. And if you're a server and you have to keep going back and filling their beverages while they chat for 3 hours,
right?
That too is a bit of a pain.
Yes.
That table of customers, it's 9:30 and you close at 9. You're putting you're vacuuming the floor. They still won't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got all those things. Yeah, they suck. Just saying. I just got back. Yesterday, this time, a little before this, but yesterday I was in St. Kitts and Nevis for the Citizenship by Investment Conference sponsored by Bitcoin.com. And I had a really great time. It's interesting all the inroads that Bitcoin.com has made in the Eastern Caribbean, the Leeward Islands, in seeing cryptocurrencies accepted and that sort of thing. So much so that I was talking to people who are involved in the central bank there, and they're discussing the notion of making a cryptocurrency backed, their currency cryptocurrency backed. So making a state currency that's crypto. I think that's pretty impressive, and it just goes to show the broad scope of the plan that Bitcoin.com has for adoption of crypto around the world. Go to Bitcoin.com, whether you're new, old, whatever you are, to Bitcoin. Go check it out at Bitcoin.com. They've got news. They've got ways to buy Bitcoin. They've got wallet applications that you can use to hold Bitcoin. Whatever it is you need, they've got it. Bitcoin.com. And like it or not,
and you don't have to buy anything to use their website.
No, you don't. They will not ask you to
It's like a digital Starbucks, only without coffee.
You could just leave it open and keep using it. Let's go to the phones. We've got Mortified Penguin on Skype here. Mortified Penguin, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, dudes. I was just listening to the Starbucks conversation. So I don't really consider Starbucks to be terribly overpriced. You know, you go in there, you get your venti mocha frappuccino and an ungodly number of just calories and whatever. That's kind of a value added though. You're paying for what you're getting. But it's really kind of weird to go in there and order a cup of coffee. It's just coffee and hot water, and that's $2. That's probably actually a worse deal if you really think about it.
Yeah. So I mean, you're saying that you think these sort of confection drinks that they have are well priced, but their coffee itself is overpriced?
I mean, really, $2 for just some water and some coffee.
Yeah, I mean, it's admittedly, but again, like you said, you're paying for seats and bathrooms and all that other stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. That's where I go. Usually when I go to a cafe or a Starbucks, and I go to a cafe that's even more pricey. Well, it's the food, really.
How often do you go to Starbucks?
Starbucks itself, I don't go to very often, and sometimes I do go and take it away. But it's near my house, but
You're
almost always
breaking up there, Mortified Penguin, and I was not able to really make out any of what you just said.
Oh, I said, I will go to Starbucks since it's closer to where I live. I'll tend to always try to go to an independent cafe.
Okay.
And
so you go to one of these places at least once a week?
Yeah, they roast their own coffee and stuff like that,
okay.
And make their own food from scratch.
I'm sure Starbucks roasts its own coffee too.
Yeah, well, I don't think on site though. They have they do it right in front of you.
What difference does it make?
I don't know. It's the novelty of it. But
it is a novelty.
It's pretty cool. It's a locally owned business.
If they had the Colombians deliver the coffee beans on their backs, would you pay extra? It'd be a novelty.
They're actually in burlap sacks.
Right, slap the burlap sacks down on the hardwood floor and the beans scatter. Now that would be a novelty. Thanks for the call, Mortified Penguin.
Something about a donkey.
Yeah, right. And on the donkey, right?
What's the and I forget.
Is it Juan Valdez?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's that coffee where the logo is the donkey with the burlap sack?
I think that's just the Colombian brand for coffee generally, for their coffee.
Okay.
Whatever. They're trying to say the Colombian coffee is the best coffee. I don't know if that's the case.
Well, they do mix cocaine into it, so I think it is the best coffee.
Well, somebody's getting shot tonight.
I don't know. I don't drink coffee.
Okay. Yeah.
Or do cocaine.
Well, I suppose I'll just.
But I wonder, would cocaine coffee actually be any good?
That's what they basically say that Starbucks is, because it hits extra high caffeine content. It gets you kind of hooked. But I stopped drinking Starbucks after I had basically a nervous breakdown somewhere in 2000
and then you called Ian some words that can't be repeated on the radio?
Oh, that's happened multiple times. I'll probably do that before the evening's over. The mics just won't be on. But, I recently made a deal with my son that if he hears me say one of several words, and he doesn't know what they all are, but if he hears them, he'll figure it out, that I give him $1. So I now have a cussing jar, effectively, and he will make sure I pay.
And I'm fairly certain he will make use of Urban Dictionary to figure out what the words are that Daddy is saying.
I hope he doesn't. I don't want him to learn any new ones, but there's only... At this point, he's limited to 4. So there you go. Starbucks, now a park that serves coffee.
Yes.
A flex space that has no rent. And there you go. But you don't have the advantage of like a cubicle where the noise is dampened.
Oh, but don't you know that the new cool thing is that it's open workspaces, so nobody has cubicles?
Well, the cubicles have their value because it's hard to have a telephone conversation with the next guy right there. I tried to work in the same room with Ian at one point, and we'd both be on the phone. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this or anything else? I'm going to do an article here that says if you're rich, you're more lucky than smart, and there's math to prove it. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We can case free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agrishosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agris Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agrishosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agrishosting.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever you want. You're talking about the situation with Starbucks, and now they've changed their policy. I guess, now anybody can come hang out at Starbucks. They've been clear that anyone can come hang out at Starbucks whether they buy something or not.
Correct. The article, not that we need to get back into the article from UPI, but it does mention that the previous policy said that the restrooms specifically were for paying customers only, but it did not, at least in the article, did not specify whether or not the tables were reserved for those who had made a purchase immediately before sitting down. Which, again, takes me back to the question of if I'm waiting until my friend arrives before I place my order, then, I'm intending to be a customer. It's not like I'm just, going and sitting in Starbucks all day long because I have nothing better to do. I'm just waiting for my friend. So how long should I be allowed to wait before okay, I'll go ahead and place my order, but I'm not going to drink it until he shows up?
I think that's a situation where, well, it depends on how many customers, how many people, how many butts need seats.
Right.
Too.
Right.
And it's not easy.
Because it was not a clearly defined policy.
I don't know that it has to be clearly defined. Like, Starbucks isn't a bunch of racists because they didn't have the clearest of defined policies about how long one is able to sit at a
My
table.
point is, because it was not a clearly defined policy, it left it up to interpretation by management.
Sure.
And the situation in Philadelphia, management made a decision that the CEO of Starbucks later said was the wrong decision.
And caused them to make a laughable choice as far as, changing their policy, which is now anybody can come and sit down and they don't need to buy nothing. So maybe they just go up and get some free water and then come back and sit down and take up some table space for the next 8 hours.
I don't know if Starbucks gives free water.
I think they do. Well, as the case may be, let's just presume that they do. Also, I kind of wondered to myself, I've parked in parking lots of restaurants that I use on a regular basis, but I sort of need to walk somewhere and before I go, and I kind of wonder about how they're going to feel about it. There's a guy who just parked in our parking lot and walked away. But I use the rest. I'm a paying customer in the sense that they've gotten plenty of my money in the past. But if they called a tow truck and they had my truck being or my car being towed or whatever the situation was, it was gone before I got there. There's nothing, you can't undo that, So yeah, those are things that I've thought of in the past too. There's an article I brought in here, and I think it's kind of interesting because many people in America, conservatives,
libertarians believe that somehow money is a representation of good deeds, of a life well lived, of virtue. And to some extent, I believe this. That if you like,
I look confused because I'm not sure you were exactly clear in what you were intending to say there.
Right, so I'm going to go on to say a bit more about it.
Okay.
A life well lived, a series of good decisions generally will result in, this is my belief, more money in your pocket than a series of bad decisions.
Okay, so the acquisition. Because when you first said money represents, well, money in and of itself doesn't necessarily represent
the possession of money.
The acquisition, I think, is what you intend to mean.
Right, and I've read this article. I still don't believe what these seething liberals say, but I think that it's important to read things that you don't necessarily agree with.
So where's this come from? Because I'm just curious if you're calling them seething liberals because they offer an opinion that you disagree with, or if they are self-described liberals.
PBS.org.
Okay.
They are not self-described liberals, but they are.
Right.
So going on. Self-analysis. If you're rich, you're more lucky than smart, and there's math to prove it. No one who's studied business, as long as I have, says, this is from Making Sense, and I guess that's the person's name, Making Sense, more than 40 years now, should be shocked by the headline. In fact, I believe for years that luck is a better determinant of success than smarts or effort. And I'm going to say that this is to some extent true, right? If you're, I got a friend in Jinja, Uganda. I live in Keene, New Hampshire.
Yep.
I'm certainly wealthier than he is.
Yes.
Much of that is an accident of birth. More people are born in Africa than they are in North America. So statistically, I was more likely to be born in Africa. I didn't happen to be. And so that in of itself, great luck.
Donald Trump.
Yep. Donald Trump.
Born into a fairly wealthy family.
Yeah, pretty wealthy, yeah. Certainly an accident of birth. I would say that after that, decisions begin to make it really important. Look, I grew up in a house where...
We all grew up in houses, Mark.
Yes, but I said, did you have a washer and dryer in your house?
I don't remember.
You don't know if your clothes were clean and how that happened?
No, I know the clothes got cleaned. I just don't remember if we had a washer and dryer or if we went somewhere.
Then you had a washer and dryer if you didn't go somewhere. Because you'd remember going to the laundromat for hours and sitting there while your clothes were done. And playing with the other kids on the playground equipment at the laundromat and things like that. These are things that I remember. We also didn't have air conditioning. Did you have air conditioning?
Yeah, I grew up in Alabama.
I grew up in Florida, 20 miles from the coastline. You're not telling me anything I don't know here, pal. So, yeah, I mean, my
I also didn't grow up in the 50s.
I didn't grow up in the 50s either, but thank you. I would like to be so wise. Yeah, so all I'm saying is that a series of bad decisions took me to prison,
right,
where I figured out relatively quickly that good decisions are helpful for living a good life, and bad decisions are helpful for living a bad life. And then when I got out, I was determined to make as many good decisions as I could. And I realized it took a while. You got to stack these decisions up over time. And yeah, it's frustrating when things don't return quite as quickly as you'd like them to be. And sometimes you make a gamble and you fail. Sometimes you take a risk and it doesn't work out. But this whole luck has more importance, I don't know whether I believe it. Going on with the author's stuff. It's why I adopted a motto soon after my journalism career kicked off. Oh, that's why you're not rich. You're a journalist. That I tried to capture the perception there is no big time. That is, it's remarkable how many at the top are, well, unremarkable. So I figured luck had to play a lead role in their ascension. I've never had occasion to change my mind. I've met a lot of people at the tops of their careers, and this person's an a-hole.
There are a lot of people at the tops of their careers that are complete a-holes.
I've met a lot of people who are incredibly remarkable people, and they don't tend to get to the top by being ordinary and unremarkable. I just disagree with that assertion. If you don't believe that the people at the tops of their careers are remarkable, it's because you are remarkable and you have surrounded yourself with remarkable people. Go spend a little time in a diner, wander down through a trailer park. Just find out what unremarkable looks like. Anyway, but of course, this was a subjective judgment. Yes, it was subjective. It says Solomon, Sense and Sensibility. Maybe this person's name is Solomon. Now, however, comes support for the cynicism. A study that claims the predominance of luck over talent in the distribution of wealth has been mathematically confirmed. 2 Italian physicists, Alessandro Pluccino and Andrea Ripisarda. Maybe that's a woman's name? I'm not sure. And one economist, A.E. Biondo, make the case that they are
just say some Italian people whenever you see any of those names.
Okay. And they've got a computer model to back it up. Let's back up a step.
Some Italians and a computer. All right.
The economic inequality data are so familiar by now that we've lost the ability to surprise. The world's richest 1% control almost half the world's wealth. The richest 8 men have wealth enough to something like 3 billion of the world's poorest. Wealth equal to something like 3 billion of the world's poorest. Yes, but the world's poorest are richer than they were 50 years ago. People focus on this, the disparity of wealth, and it's certainly there, and it's certainly getting higher. But what if, ladies and gentlemen, just as a question, a functioning question here, please answer for me. What if what it takes for you to gain in wealth is that somebody else gets 10 times what you get? Is it worth it? The number is 855-450-3733. Is it worth it? 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live or LRN.FM on Skype.
Were you born before the year 1956? If so, did you know you could be collecting between $575 and $2,200 in tax-free income right now? All thanks to the FHA. Or what about this? Did you know 54 U.S. congressmen have used a special tax-free account to earn up to 35 times more on their money? It's true, and you can do it too. These are just 2 of the secrets revealed inside a stunning new book from the Palm Beach Research Group and Ted Benna, the man behind the 401k. You'll discover the 18 best cash cows that can help you earn up to an extra $6,800 a month. Just go to 501kbook.com right now. If you're at or near retirement, this book is a must-read. You can get your own free copy. Shipping and handling charges apply. Just go to 501kbook.com right now while there are still copies left. That's 501kbook.com. 501kbook.com. Just go to 501kbook.com right now.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, May 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.45 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,293 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $30, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,308.
Antiwar.com reports EU nations, particularly Germany, were already interested in getting closer to Russia in their joint efforts to save the P5+1 nuclear deal with Iran. Another issue driving them together is the planned Nord Stream 2 pipeline connecting Russian natural gas supplies to Germany. Europe in general and Germany in particular need that Russian natural gas. The U.S. opposes the pipeline, however, for deliberately circumventing Ukrainian territory. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Russia will stand up to the U.S. attempts to block the project. He's not alone. German Economic Minister Peter Altmaier represented U.S. opposition to the pipeline as America First policy, attempting to secure U.S. exports. He warned Europe would defend its own interest in that matter, even if they conflict with America's. U.S. officials are downplaying the risk of a trade war with Germany over their disagreements, but have also said they expect German companies to obey U.S. edicts. As these differences go from hypothetical policy issues to real practical ones with economic implications, Germany may find its interest much more closely aligned with Russia's and ultimately conclude that they'd benefit from a more independent, less U.S.-centric foreign policy. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports everyone is considered a customer and purchases are not required to use Starbucks cafes, including its restrooms, according to a new policy announced on Saturday. The policy change comes a month after a Philadelphia Starbucks manager called police about two black men who were sitting inside the restaurant waiting for a friend without yet ordering anything. An arrest video sparked a nationwide outcry, including days of protest in Philadelphia. The city police commissioner apologized and Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson called the arrest reprehensible. Afterward, the company announced all U.S. stores will be closed on the afternoon of May 29th to conduct racial bias training. The two men settled with the city of Philadelphia for $1 each and an undisclosed settlement with the company. The Wall Street Journal reported the policy announcement, sent via a letter to employees, said that any person who enters our space, including patios, cafes, and restrooms, regardless of whether they make a purchase, is considered a customer. Previously, company guidelines were vague on how to treat lingering non-paying guests. The Philadelphia store where the two men were arrested had signs informing people that bathrooms and the cafe were for paying customers only. Store guidelines for employees were to ask non-paying guests to leave. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. Reuters reports new fast-moving lava poured from the flank of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano on Saturday, destroying 4 more homes on the Big Island of Hawaii after a second explosive eruption shot a nearly 2-mile-high ash plume from the center. The County of Hawaii's Civil Defense Agency said molten rock from 2 huge cracks formed a single channel and traveled 1,000 feet in under an hour, twice the speed of previous flows of older lava that have torn through homes, roads, and tropical forests for over 2 weeks. The new lava, which is flowing east underground from the sinking lava lake at Kilauea's summit, is expected to create more flows that travel further, threatening homes and a coastal road that is a key exit route for around 2,000 residents. Scientists expect Kilauea, one of the world's most active volcanoes, to experience a series of explosive eruptions that could spread ash and volcanic smog across the Big Island, that could pose a hazard to jet engines if it blows into aircraft routes around 30,000 feet. Around 2,000 residents have faced mandatory evacuations due to at least 22 volcanic cracks that have opened since May 3rd. Many thousands more residents of the area have voluntarily left their homes due to life-threatening levels of toxic sulfur dioxide gas spewing from vents in the volcanic fissures. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following reports earlier today that Indiana University freshman Lawrence Plotnick's roommate Brian Tabor has found an excuse to go home every weekend since August, Plotnick spoke to Onion reporters about his roommate's frequent trips to his nearby hometown of Terre Haute, Indiana.
Every week since we got here, it seems like every time I ask him if he wants to hang out on Friday, he has some wedding or birthday party or something. In fact, I'm pretty sure he hasn't spent a single Friday or Saturday night on campus in the past 6 months.
Plotnick went on to cite a variety of far-ranging excuses used by his roommate to justify his constant visits home, including various family functions, a visiting friend from China, as well as his occasional desire to, quote, just hang out at home for a couple of days.
I mean, I suppose I vaguely understood when he had to go back in November because his best friend's grandfather died, but last weekend he had to go back for his aunt and uncle's wedding anniversary. He said he couldn't miss it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on the radio with us. That's what we do here. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
I'll give you the number a bit later, but right now we've been talking about a story that has come out of pbs.org, and it's commenting on how rich people are mostly lucky. So apparently, 3 Italian researchers and 1 computer have come up with a model that says that, in fact, this is so. And the author's just sort of pointing out the disparity in wealth that exists right now, using this 1% control half the world's wealth, and that the 8 richest men have something equal to the same wealth as 3 billion of the world's poorest people.
All right. So before we continue, there have been other people that have run computer models that show that if all of the wealth were redistributed, that it would not be too terribly long before, I think it was 97% of the wealth was being controlled by 10% of the people.
It doesn't surprise me. If at any activity, there's going to be sort of a bell curve, right? Like some people are going to be average at doing things, people are going to be above average at doing things, and people are going to be below average at doing things.
Right. And
if money's important, maybe it should be in the hands of people who are good at managing it.
Right. And, there are some people that they just have a tendency to, I'm not going to say always make bad decisions, because a bad decision is relative.
Well, okay. You cannot say that, but I'll go ahead and say it. I know plenty of people, it seems like they try to make bad decisions, that they sit there, they smoke a cigarette while thinking about ways to make more new bad decisions, and then they go out and they do them.
So I would agree that, smoking cigarettes, bad decision. What I was thinking in my mind was the people that, I got this big giant tax refund. I'm going to go spend all the money on a sound system and rims for my car.
That is a bad decision.
Probably not the best decision that they could make. They're spending money on something that is important to them.
A sound system and rims are still a better choice than smoking, to my mind.
Right.
But I'm going to go ahead and say that people...
It's not what I would choose, but again, it's something that they thought it was a good decision.
Your life can handle some bad decisions. In fact, life isn't worth living without some inefficiencies. Does that make sense? Maybe it's a jet ski, maybe it's a bass boat, maybe it's a skidoo, maybe it's fishing equipment, whatever it might be. Some inefficiencies.
Catamaran,
an expensive purse, whatever it might be, some inefficiencies in the equation make life worth living.
Right.
And if that inefficiency for you is smoking, then by God, you should do it. If it's rims and a stereo, then you should do it. However, if you make all of these bad decisions all of the time, you decide instead of purchasing used furniture from the used furniture store, you're going to go to one of these rental places and rent your furniture.
Right.
It's amazing. I know people that it seems like every poor choice that's possible that they can make, they make it.
Yeah, I don't know people that make every poor choice they could, but I do know people that make what I would consider to be bad decisions, but they think it somehow improves their quality of life.
I kind of feel like you have to, balance them out. You're gonna have to make more good decisions than bad decisions.
Yes.
And probably there's a formula of 3 good decisions to every bad decision, or something to that effect.
And would you agree that sometimes you make a decision that might not be the best decision that could be made, but it turns out that you have a better outcome than you could have had?
Yes, I went into business with Ian Freeman in 2002.
So, a little bit of luck in there, right?
Yep, a little bit of luck. Certainly, I am not disparaging the premise here that luck has nothing to do with being wealthy.
Okay, because there are some people that will say that luck has nothing to do with it.
I will say that there's some saying, and it's probably attributed to Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, or Albert Einstein, because God knows they all are. But something to the effect of luck happens to those who get up early in the morning or something. And the idea is that you get up, you go to work.
Well, we do know that Ben Franklin wanted people to wake up early. That's why he wrote the satirical piece about firing the cannons as the sun rose. And then, he also had something else. And then 100 years later, he wrote, Ben Franklin had the idea for daylight shifting time. No, he wrote a piece of satire, and you're just a dumbass and didn't realize it was supposed to be funny.
Going on. So the author here in this piece from PBS, it's writing under a pseudonym, so I'm not even going to bother. But why? The most common explanation is that the wealthy have earned it, whether by IQ, get this, whether by IQ or intelligence or talent. But
you think that they're being repetitive?
Yes.
They're not, because it has been proven that IQ and intelligence are not necessarily the same thing.
No, IQ is a rating of a form of intelligence. However, the 9 forms of intelligence that are out there, some of them go by other names. So, like when you're talking about sort of your body intelligence, your body knowing where it is in space and being able to perform specific acts, we call that athleticism.
Right.
Right. So we don't. I mean, is athleticism a form of intelligence? I'm willing to have that debate. In fact, I'll probably
I'd say
come
it's
down.
Probably talent.
It's a talent, certainly, and I'm willing
Plus,
to call it.
you do have to have some intelligence, because you could have a really good athlete that is really good at basketball, and then say, "Oh, you're a really good basketball player. We want you to go play baseball," and then they wind up not doing so well. Looking at you, Michael Jordan.
Well,
still a better baseball player than I'll ever be.
Yeah, he was a great athlete and certainly didn't have the time to go back and relearn all of that other stuff. But I would say that I've started jiu-jitsu with a group of guys, right? And one of them was young, just learned things very quickly.
Yep.
And knew what he was doing on the mat. It seems so much. He knew where his body was on the mat so much more quickly than everybody else. And I would call this kid the kinesthesiological genius, or whatever the term they want to use. But, the case may be. Anyway, going on. Wealth and talent and virtuous hard work, or sheer rapacity, the Wolf of Wall Street, or all of the above, though it's kind of hard to be both virtuous and rapacious at the same time. I'm not sure that that's entirely true, but nonetheless. What about good old dumb luck? After finishing the first year of Harvard's MBA program on a journalism's fellowship, and then reporting, pondering, and writing about business, I wouldn't avoid the conclusion that luck was, if not the, key determinant factor of success. So at the end of our 1983 book, Life and Death and the Corporate Battlefield, How Companies Win, Lose, and Survive, co-author Tim Friedman and I summed up by writing that a brilliant strategy may prevail in one instance and a brilliant new product may spell victory in another. But behind the bottom line, there are many crossed fingers that the traditional view of business would lead us to believe. More recently, the great economic thinker Bob Frank wrote a whole, if short, book featuring its importance: Success and Luck, Good Fortune, and the Myth of Mediocrity. Now, it's not that I don't agree with these statements. I do, however, say that there's a zeitgeist, a movement, maybe even a conspiracy to suggest that hard work and good decisions really don't have much to do with a good life anymore, that it's all about luck, that I'm hearing more and more and more about how luck. Just as though business and providing people with good service and all this other stuff, it's just like winning the lotto. Well, no, it's not. It's not.
I'm curious what you're reading and listening to where everybody says it's only luck.
I spend time consuming stuff about business, and that's where I'm getting it from. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
From the sixth letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation, a difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.fm in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.fm. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. And you can call in and comment on this story here. The author is positing that luck has more to do with success than any other factor. And my mind rejects this notion and will probably reject it until the day I die. But nonetheless, I think it's worth talking about. I think luck plays a factor. The question is, what's the factor? And they claim to have a proof here. So I'm getting down to the proof. God knows I wouldn't want to not pay attention to what is the proof. In fact, that's one of the reasons we endorse Zencash here on Free Talk Live because, well, good technology is good, but the philosophy behind tech is important. And Zencash is made by voluntarists with the idea of voluntary interaction being embedded right in their white paper. With no central authority or even a single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to practice in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. Zencash allows for secure private transactions, and you can learn more at Zencash.com. They've got 11,000 secure nodes, making them more secure than the most secure of cryptocurrencies out there. Zencash.com. I think it's great tech. Going on with this article from PBS.com. Oh, Darryl, you had a question for me. I had made the assertion that I'm seeing more and more of this the idea that...
Yeah, you said everywhere you turn, you're hearing people talk about luck, and I was just asking where you're hearing this because, I don't necessarily hear it, but I don't, necessarily listen to the same podcast or radio shows that you do.
Yeah, so I spent probably a good portion of my time on NPR, but, things I read online, that kind of thing. Obviously, I can't quote my sources. I wasn't prepared for that particular question. Probably wouldn't do that great.
Right, but are these business journals or these business podcasts?
Many
or is
times
it just
it's successful
Facebook
people,
groups that you're in.
It's journalists reporting on things. It's luck is being attributed more and more often. The one guy from one of the early investors in Amazon. There's just this sort of group of people out there that appear to be setting up a dynamic where we're fed the idea that luck is the big determining factor in success. And what I would propose is that this is a conspiracy, whether laid out or subconscious, a conspiracy to undermine hard work and dedication in the American marketplace so that we see more equity because people who would be otherwise successful choose not to do it because they don't want to play into a game where luck is the major determining factor. So what we will see is equal misery for everyone because the hard workers don't go out and do it. And this is what I'm trying to sort of fight against, is that...
So do you think some of these people might be pushing for universal basic income?
Everything. These are the sorts, right? They're not liberals in necessarily what they're stating in their articles, but they are just sort of in the way they talk about things. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a big believer that hard work and good decisions will result in you having a much better life than otherwise, and that maybe luck makes a difference in whether you make $100,000 a year or $1 million a year. But it doesn't make much difference in whether or not you make $10,000 a year or it's that hard work is the determination factor between $10,000 a year and $50,000 a year. You could have the bad luck to be injured and unable to work, and that's certainly luck. Health is
right.
You can't. Health is probably the hardest thing to maintain.
So I just want to make sure that I'm clear, and if I'm confused, then that means somebody else might be confused. You're not saying that luck has absolutely nothing to do with success.
No, but I don't know.
You're just contending that it is not the major factor that this article is saying.
Not what I've seen in my life, and I'm going to probably argue that to the day I die. So anyway, going on here, the academic paper agrees with all three of us. The largely dominant meritocratic paradigm of highly competitive Western cultures, writes the authors, is rooted in the belief that success is due mainly, if not exclusively, to personal qualities such as talent, intelligence, skills, smartness, efforts, willingness, hard work, and risk-taking. Would you disagree? And meritocracy, rule by the merited, sounds so fair, so just. Who would disagree with this? Well, I see the point they're trying to make here is that, yeah, sure. I mean, for every person that makes a good decision in business, and, I don't mean a wise decision, because we know what the wise decisions are. I'm just talking about a lucky decision. For every person who makes a lucky decision, there's an unlucky decision too.
Right.
And yes, that's fine by me. So sometimes the authors concede we are willing to admit that a certain degree of luck could also play a role in achieving significant material success. But here's their bottom line. So I guess I'm in that category, right? A certain amount of luck. As a matter of fact, it is rather common to underestimate the importance of external forces in individual success stories. How do they know? Look, they write. They take it for granted that intelligence, talent, personal qualities are all normally distributed. That is, that there are roughly as many super smart people as super slow ones, with most of us being in the middle. Roughly as many athletes as stone klutzes, with most of us in the middle. As many Mother Teresas as there are Jack the Rippers, and most of us in the middle as with midgets and giants and so on. Yes, it's the good old bell curve, the normal distribution. Most human traits are arranged along it, but wealth, the authors write, follows something called a power law. Also, sometimes called the 80-20 rule, with a vast majority of people, poor people, and a very small number of billionaires, the richest 8 men having the wealth equal to something like 3 billion of the world's poorest, and being an extreme example, but it's telling. But thinking about it, the author suggests if smarts and talent and even effort are so normally distributed and wealth is so abnormally distributed, what's the missing that explains the disparity? What's the missing, Darryl? It must be luck. We suggest that such an ingredient is just randomness, writes the authors. In particular, we show that if it is true that some degree of talent is necessary to be successful in life, almost never the most talented people reach the highest peaks of success, being overtaken by mediocrity, but sensibly luckier individuals. The practical implication is pretty clear. It underlines the risks of distributing excessive honors or resources to people who, at the end of the day, could simply be luckier than others. I think they may have converted me. So I breezed through this early on, and I was just kind of like, oh, God, another one of these articles. I'm of the opinion that you can have a better than average life, or at the very least go from well below average to average by making a series of good decisions. And if you want to know what some of those good decisions are, like save some money, don't spend it all, make your coffee at home, don't buy it at the coffee store, make your sandwich at home,
or just don't drink coffee.
Well, I suppose, but why? Life is better with coffee.
No, coffee tastes like ass.
Well, that's your opinion. You drink other things that people don't like. Why you got to diss on people's coffee? They like it. 855-450-3733.
I'm just saying, I don't spend money on coffee.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
If you or anyone you love has been diagnosed with lung cancer, asbestosis, or mesothelioma, your diagnosis may be the result of job-related exposure to asbestos, and you may be entitled to compensation. Call Capital Legal Group now at 800-400-LUNG. Law firms have successfully recovered over $2.7 billion for their clients in all 50 states. If you or a family member were diagnosed with lung cancer, asbestosis, or mesothelioma, visit 800-400-LUNG.com or call 800-400-LUNG. That's 800-400-LUNG.
Now, a lot of little girls do ballet even though their fathers couldn't care less and don't see what the big deal is. But one talented little prodigy actually choreographed a whole ballet that her father could enjoy and even look forward to. Let's meet Erin Kemper and her father, Jack.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Erin, how did you do that? I thought about all the things that my dad likes to watch and put it into a ballet.
Well, we have a special treat for you today because Erin is now going to perform her new ballet. When I pay the bills, I get to make the rules.
We can't afford that. World War II. I miss your mother too, but we're going to have to do the best without her. Go Redskins!
Bravo! Well done. Boy, I wish you were mine. You know, my two girls are grown up, but you still couldn't pay me to watch one of their a cappella shows. What inspired you to create this amazing ballet?
I'm really inspired by the theme of my dad paying any attention to me at all.
Now, at the end, I hear she just put the game up on the big screen.
I don't know where she gets it. This is the Onion News Network.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can call in and comment on this article I am reading that suggests that luck has more to do with success than any other factor. I don't like the way that they stated it, but I think they've convinced me in the very last paragraph of the article that, in fact, what they're trying to say that they're correct about, but we can parse that out here. It's Mark with you, by the way.
And Darryl.
Liberty.menu is a website where libertarians like you and me, we get together, we list our businesses, our organizations, events, those sorts of things. Everybody can see what everybody else is doing, and it's great because now you can do business, if you'd like, with libertarians of all stripes at liberty.menu. Use code FTL, you get a special badge. It's a great gig. Liberty.menu. And we put that together we help put that together so that, in fact, people have been demanding this for a long time. I think it's a great opportunity. Perhaps not where you would spend the majority of your time on the internet, but when you need to get some good or service, it's a great place to check. Liberty.menu. So here, this article from PBS. I get what they're saying. They're saying that, for instance, what they list off here, different sorts of talents and these sorts of things are in a meritocracy, that they're evenly distributed, not evenly distributed, but distributed along a bell curve. Those that let's see, here's the list: talent, intelligence, skills, smartness, efforts, willfulness, hard work, and risk taking. That these things would be distributed along a bell curve of some sort amongst the population, right?
Right. So, I'm thinking here that as they're talking about, like distributing stuff, and if everybody were to make the, equally good or bad or wise choices, etc., then everybody would wind up having the same outcome or something, because there are people that believe that, especially people, and I'm going to shift this a little bit, public financing of political campaigns. That's a topic that you've heard discussed.
Sure.
Right? And that relies, the belief that, well, if all of the candidates just have the same amount of money, asterisk by all of the candidates, we mean Republicans and Democrats, and we're not going to give money to Green Party or Independents or anybody else.
The people I hear saying this probably would want the Green Party to get their fair share, but all right.
The proposals that I've seen
by politicians,
they're the ones that wind up handing out the money.
That's the problem with any proposal anywhere that involves the government, is that it has to go through a politician who's then going to rewrite it.
And
so
there are
when there's
a couple of states that do have some kind of something that they call clean election funding, but there's still criteria for how you wind up getting it, and it's based on amounts that you wind up bringing in and blah, blah, blah. So it's not everybody gets the same amount, but they want you to think that. But all of that is based on the thought that if all of the candidates have the same amount of money, they will spend it in equally wise ways so that they're all running a fair, competitive race. But yet nobody says, all right, we're going to wind up also finding campaign staff for all of these candidates so that everybody has a competent campaign manager. We're going to hire debate coaches for all of the candidates so that all of the candidates perform equally well in the televised debates and all of these other things. So there are people that think that money in and of itself winds up giving everybody equal outcomes.
I don't think. Okay, so when that probably is true, there are people that think everything. But when your average person says that they would like to see money taken out of politics, that they just want to see the candidates for what their thoughts are and those kind of things, and they think that they get a better outcome. I tend to agree that we would get a better outcome if, for instance, candidates could not advertise at all, couldn't hire a campaign manager.
I think we'd get a better outcome if we randomly selected names from the phone book.
We don't have phone books anymore, but yeah, sure. I'm fine with that. I think you should have to randomly select names from kindergarten classes. That would probably give you a better outcome than what we have. Just bring in 6-year-olds.
That would be allowed in Kansas, but not most of the rest of the country.
Yeah, so...
And the only reason I say that would be allowed in Kansas is apparently to run for governor of Kansas, you don't even have to live in Kansas. So not only do you not have to be registered to vote, you don't even have to live in Kansas. And based on some digging that somebody did, you don't even actually have to be human.
Well, you could... I suppose that who cares? Who cares if any? Most states probably don't state that you have to be human.
No, most states say that you have to be a registered voter,
which would then make you a human.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. I don't imagine Kansas has had any trouble with people who are non-Kansans or, in fact, aliens from the Xenu running
Vermin Supreme is running for some kind of office in Kansas. There's like 5 teenagers that are running for governor of Kansas.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't imagine they'll get very far, but good for them.
Yes.
So anyway, what I was saying on this this article that's suggesting that talent, intelligence, skills, smartness, efforts, willingness, hard work, and risk-taking are all distributed. Risk-taking, I guess, the idea that you'd be willing to take a risk, willingness to take risks, are distributed along bell curves. And I think that this is generally true, that you don't have to be all of these things to be successful in life.
Right.
You probably only have to be half of them or something like that to be successful. But I'm defining success as having, owning your own home at some point in
not everybody wants to own a home, but okay, that's how you're defining success.
Having moving forward, right? Like having more wealth than you did 10 years ago, these kinds of things. Not being indebted. That's what I'm calling success. What they're calling success is the top 1% of holders of wealth in the world, and those are a fair piece of a fair group to just go ahead and disparage all the time because they can't. They're not going to fight back. They can't fight back, and there's not enough of them to fight back. So whatever. If they're going to say that people are in the top 1% because they're lucky, well, probably half of them are there because they were born there. So you can't call that anything but luck. Right. And the other half, sure. I'm sure that some business people made some business decisions that had luck as a factor, and therefore, if you're saying half of the reason that half of the people, if half of all of the reason that half of the people are in the top 1% is luck, then all luck has to do is be a small factor in every other decision, and then therefore everybody is there largely because of luck.
Right.
So I suppose I understand where they're coming from with their little computer model or whatever, but I don't want anybody to walk away from this thinking that you can't have a better life by stringing good decisions together.
Right.
That's the way to have a good life.
Right. And, there are a lot of things that I think are referred to as success blogs, to where here's the 4 things to do to become a millionaire.
Yeah, there's that.
Well,
there's a lot of that.
Waking up at 5 o'clock
is full of it.
Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning isn't going to automatically ensure that you become a millionaire if you still stay at your minimum wage job.
I think not, but I think if you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you will find things to do like exercise and...
I'm not saying waking up early is not a good decision. I'm just saying that just because you followed the 3 steps in some blog that you read online doesn't mean that you're automatically going to become a millionaire.
No, it doesn't automatically mean that, but
the clickbaity headlines make it sound like you will.
If you're going to click on that clickbaity headline, one article isn't going to change your life anyway. You're going to have read a whole bunch of these things. You're going to have accumulated some ideas. And I think that if you take these people's advice, generally you will have a better life than you did. All you really need to do is change 1 or 2 bad habits, in my opinion. 855-450-3733, Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do You think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You can call in. Talk about whatever's on your mind here on this live edition of Free Talk Live with Mark.
And Darryl.
By the way, we should... we don't exactly know where Johnny Ray is, but normally he's on with us on Sunday.
Not here.
He is not here, right. The Liberty Janitor is bringing clean liberty to some place in the world.
That's an assumption. We have no clue what he's doing right now.
We don't have any idea. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, let's go to the phones, go to the fun. Darryl, I think somebody's calling in to comment on your election law in Kansas issue here. Ceresis? I'm not sure what I've got here.
You got you. I've called in yesterday too.
All right, I wasn't here.
Cerise. No, Cerise. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Listen, it could be true. You know, who knows how those laws were formed, that you don't even have to be human. But
to be the governor of Kansas.
Governor, you know, who knows, really? But Kansas is easy to make fun of. And one of the reasons I do believe is our last governor, Sam Brownback, wanted to make Kansas a test state for the whole trickle-down economy, you know, give businesses
I've heard that.
Tax breaks. And you know what? We ended up literally at the bottom of the list in terms of how well we were doing financially at the end of his time in office. And
how long was he in office?
Oh, he ended up he would have been 8 years, but it was 6 years because now Trump has him in some position doing something.
He got a promotion.
I'm sorry, Yeah, he got a promotion. So, you know, it is easy to make fun of Kansas, but on the other hand, we do have this next election, we're really going to have some good people on both sides, and they're going to be people, I promise. I don't think there's any dogs.
Well, see?
So
it's proven that you will not have a good candidate then.
Sam Brownback is apparently the United States Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
I did not even know that was a thing.
I hope he doesn't get a big paycheck for that.
It's kind of scary. I used to be, you know, in radio and interview and stuff, and I interviewed him on a couple occasions. He's a bright, smart man who tried his best to put his theory in place in Kansas, and it was a very big failure. And it's that whole trickle down. Let's let businesses get tax breaks and people on the lower end not get things that they need, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I'm really
But,
curious about this because, I've heard Kansas mentioned in some articles and that sort of thing. I was not involved, and frankly, even being in Kansas doesn't mean that you know what was going on by any stretch of the imagination.
True.
And
You're so right.
so I'd like to see something written up by the libertarian thinkers that I respect and see where they think all this went wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. You could find, and I'm sorry, I am not exactly telling you details, as I am now not working in the journalism field. I just kind of look, at the basic stuff and don't know the details. But you'll find it. It's very interesting.
Oh yeah,
and again,
I've seen several articles. It's true.
Yes.
Cerise?
And I appreciate you mentioning Kansas, and I always love talking to you guys.
Thanks, Cerise. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
The number's 855-450-3733. I don't think Cerise waited 5 minutes on that line. Believe me, we don't hold people over very long here on Free Talk Live. The number's 855-450-3733. I am curious, maybe it's true. Maybe the ideas of liberty just don't work.
Well, and sometimes what people refer to as some kind of trickle-down something, it's not actually a free market. It's we're giving special privilege to well-connected people that we know, which goes back to that luck of it's who you know, not what you know. And then, we're going to wind up doing other things, and it's total manipulation of markets. That's all, any kind of tax break, tax benefit, tax cut, tax hike, it's all manipulations of markets.
I absolutely believe that the important aspects of liberty, like it's easy to understand the ideas of liberty, and they're so moral, they're so simple, they're just, it's an easy way to think, and but what people get frustrated about is that if a politician or a group of politicians or a government gets a hold of some of these ideas, they're going to apply it to their friends, but their enemies don't get any of the benefit, at which point you just have a disparity that gets put into place. And when you're trying to retrofit a state, whether it's Kansas, New Hampshire, any state, it doesn't make a difference what it is, Estonia. If you're trying to retrofit a state, you're going to have a lot of problems because you have this momentum of this organization that wasn't intended in any way, shape, or form to be fair.
Right.
The government isn't supposed to be fair. It's supposed to feed itself and grow. And if you get in the way of that, that's when you get churned up and destroyed. So, I think that it's quite possible you could create a new, set up one of these special economic zones in one of these countries that are setting them up, apply the ideas of liberty there from the ground up. You have the right people involved, then maybe you'll get a really great result. Until then, we just aren't going to know because retrofitting the state doesn't seem to work particularly well, or because it gets run through the same filter that every other thing gets run through, which is a politician has to implement it.
Right.
So I got a story here from Dallas. This is from CBSLocal.com, so don't expect the rating to be very good. Never is. 25-year-old man faces a felony charge after posing as a high school.
No, I seriously doubt he posed as a high school.
I love CBSLocal.com. As posing as a high school at Dallas ISD High School. And are these written by a computer? I think they have to be. And even joined the school's basketball team. Sydney Galstrap
How are you doing, my fellow kids?
was arrested on a charge of tampering with government records, a felony, after he was enrolled as a student at Hillcrest High School, claiming to be a displaced Hurricane Harvey evacuee. The district confirmed he also played at the school's basketball team during the school year. Dallas ISD said it is promising to revisit its policies about situations like welcoming hurricane victims into the school district. This is a unique situation that shows us areas we need to take another look at when we open our doors to students in these situations, said the district. Safety is always our top priority, and we're reviewing our policies to strengthen district efforts while still helping those who are in need. So this guy did it. right? Every movie in the 80s, it seems like, focused on something like this. Going back to high school and finally doing it properly. I get the impression that basketball might have been important to Sydney, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting.
Now, one thing that's interesting to point out here is it's not a felony when the person going back to high school and posing as a high school student is a government employee, and they're doing so for the purposes of convincing the valedictorian to find them some weed, because then I'll give you some lovin'.
Yes, that happened.
Then it's a felony for the high school valedictorian that got suckered into becoming a drug dealer when that valedictorian had no intentions of being a drug dealer.
Yeah, this happened actually at my high school to a friend who was in this situation. And basically, some girl cop rolls in and basically pretends to be, gets him in all kinds of trouble.
Yep.
And what did he do that was any different than any other high schooler? Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, other than many high schoolers, really nothing. I don't know. I think that this Sydney guy certainly shouldn't get in too much trouble. I'm upset that a 25-year-old has the kind of time to return to high school. Right? I mean, like, where's your job, Sid? What are you doing, man? And
he's wanting to relive the dream.
You shouldn't be going to high school and kissing the high school girls, right? Like, what are you doing? You're 25.
He was hoping that he goes back to high school and he uses his 7-8 years of extra basketball playing experience to be really good at basketball
and pwn them noobs,
so that he can wind up getting a scholarship to a D1 school and finally make the NBA.
I'm fine with that. What is a D1 school?
Division 1. It's the highest level of collegiate athletics.
Yeah, that's going to get him in trouble because they're going to find out pretty quick what's going on with old Sid there. But the Tar Heels aren't going to just get tricked like Dallas schools did. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind here on this live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. You can also use Skype. Our username is lrn.fm. As a matter of fact, you can use Discord too. Discord.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, May 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.45 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,293 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $30, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,308. Antiwar.com reports EU nations, particularly Germany, were already interested in getting closer to Russia in their joint efforts to save the P5+1 nuclear deal with Iran. Another issue driving them together is the planned Nord Stream 2 pipeline connecting Russian natural gas supplies to Germany. Europe in general and Germany in particular need that Russian natural gas. The U.S. opposes the pipeline, however, for deliberately circumventing Ukrainian territory. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Russia will stand up to the U.S. attempts to block the project. He's not alone. German Economic Minister Peter Altmaier represented U.S. opposition to the pipeline as America First policy attempting to secure U.S. exports. He warned Europe would defend its own interest in that matter, even if they conflict with America's. U.S. officials are downplaying the risk of a trade war with Germany over their disagreements, but have also said they expect German companies to obey U.S. edicts. As these differences go from hypothetical policy issues to real practical ones with economic implications, Germany may find its interest much more closely aligned with Russia's and ultimately conclude that they'd benefit from a more independent, less U.S.-centric foreign policy. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports everyone is considered a customer and purchases are not required to use Starbucks cafes, including its restrooms, according to a new policy announced on Saturday. The policy change comes a month after a Philadelphia Starbucks manager called police about two black men who were sitting inside the restaurant waiting for a friend without yet ordering anything. An arrest video sparked a nationwide outcry, including days of protest in Philadelphia. The city police commissioner apologized and Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson called the arrest reprehensible. Afterward, the company announced all U.S. stores will be closed on the afternoon of May 29th to conduct racial bias training. The two men settled with the city of Philadelphia for $1 each and an undisclosed settlement with the company. The Wall Street Journal reported the policy announcement, sent via a letter to employees, said that any person who enters our space, including patios, cafes, and restrooms, regardless of whether they make a purchase, is considered a customer. Previously, company guidelines were vague on how to treat lingering non-paying guests. The Philadelphia store where the two men were arrested had signs informing people that bathrooms and the cafe were for paying customers only. Store guidelines for employees were to ask non-paying guests to leave. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. Reuters reports new fast-moving lava poured from the flank of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano on Saturday, destroying 4 more homes on the Big Island of Hawaii after a second explosive eruption shot a nearly 2-mile-high ash plume from the center. The County of Hawaii's Civil Defense Agency said molten rock from 2 huge cracks formed a single channel and traveled 1,000 feet in under an hour, twice the speed of previous flows of older lava that have torn through homes, roads, and tropical forests for over 2 weeks. The new lava, which is flowing east underground from the sinking lava lake at Kilauea's summit, is expected to create more flows that travel further, threatening homes and a coastal road that is a key exit route for around 2,000 residents. Scientists expect Kilauea, one of the world's most active volcanoes, to experience a series of explosive eruptions that could spread ash and volcanic smog across the Big Island, that could pose a hazard to jet engines if it blows into aircraft routes around 30,000 feet. Around 2,000 residents have faced mandatory evacuations due to at least 22 volcanic cracks that have opened since May 3rd. Many thousands more residents of the area have voluntarily left their homes due to life-threatening levels of toxic sulfur dioxide gas spewing from vents in the volcanic fissures. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
calling it the most effective means to reaching one's full earning potential. A new report issued by the Employee Benefit Research Institute this week found that violently slamming one's supervisor against a wall and shouting, "Cash, I need more cash," is still the leading tactic for securing a raise amongst American workers.
We found that employees have the most success negotiating their salaries when they stride confidently into their supervisor's office, manhandle them like a rag doll, and demand more money right now.
Experts confirmed that the majority of employees who managed to increase their salaries maintained direct eye contact with their supervisors while reiterating that they were not f***ing around, emphasizing their position with phrases such as, "Give me the money now," and "I said more cash, old man." The Onion sat down with Kevin Simmons, who recently applied these methods in negotiating a competitive bump in his annual salary.
So the other day I walked right into his office, grabbed his throat with my hand, and told him straight up, "Start paying me more f***ing money today." And I grabbed $100 out of his wallet and told him that was a good start.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You are free to call in and talk live here on this live edition of Free Talk Live. We're on the air every day from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
All the days.
All the days, Eastern Time. Just call in anytime in there and talk about whatever is important to you. We'll take your call. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And, Darryl, you said you had another story for me. What was that?
The election in Venezuela.
Oh, God. I care so little. All right.
I keep forgetting that, you and I and Ian don't necessarily have the same view on Venezuela. Me and Ian are fascinated.
Yeah, Ian loves to talk about Venezuela.
Slow train wreck that is the Venezuelan economy. They had an election today.
I'd like to point out that
the Miami Herald.
Yeah, there's an election that went on. I'd like to point out that the socialists don't care about this. They say Venezuela, if the first thing they're going to say is state capitalism, right? State capitalism is the new buzzword for saying whatever socialist government that I don't like historically that implemented all the things that I believe in, that isn't the thing that I believe in. So libertarians live in a world where we've never really gotten to implement what we want to implement.
Correct.
Socialists kind of live in the same world because you have to, to make their plan work, so they say, you have to implement their plan as they want to see it implemented. So they can point to things like, Sweden or Denmark or whatever it is that they point at and they say, this is working great. Why don't you focus on the things that work great instead of focusing on the things that don't work great? And I think that the stories in Venezuela are fascinating, but I don't think they're instructive particularly. I think what they are is more confirmation bias for people who believe in more free markets, because those that don't believe in the free market say, A, this sort of socialism wasn't implemented in the way that I like. It's not socialism, it's state capitalism. And so that's 2. And then 3, the United States embargoed Venezuela, causing their economy to begin to spiral down the toilet. And with those 3 factors, it's no wonder that they're eating their dogs.
So I could answer all of those objections and explain why I'm fascinated with Venezuela, but let me just
if you
jump
have
into
those
the
objections
article.
And you wish to explain them to Darryl, the number is 855-450-3733.
Miami Herald reports whether it was a defiant act of protest or the grim realization that nothing would change, Venezuelans appeared to skip Sunday's presidential election en masse. And that decision all but guaranteed that embattled President Nicolas Maduro will rule the shattered country through 2025, even as dozens of nations, including the United States, are calling the election a sham.
Right. So there's a presidential election, you decide to sit it out, and then you're going to be upset about the results. I don't really understand why these organizations decided to sit out this election.
Oh, I can partially explain it.
Go ahead.
Because all of the real opposition was prohibited from participating in the election.
Sure.
It would be, almost akin to the election here in the United States, where you have two groups that are basically the same political party, but they've convinced everybody that they're two different parties, setting the rules by which everybody else gets to participate, only instead of saying, go collect millions of signatures to get on the ballot, in Venezuela, they throw you in jail, and as part of your sentence, you're not allowed to run for public office.
Okay, so in Venezuela, they, as best I understand, they don't have a none of the above option. So I think you would be better off, these people would be better off, going and voting for no one, or, this would be my preference, voting for somebody else who's not Maduro. Because at the very least, it sends the message that, hey, this sucks and we don't want Maduro anymore. Instead, by staying at home, and it's true, Darryl. I mean, it's 100% true. This guy there was a huge 80% of the population voted in the previous election or something like that, and now it's more like 17%. So I mean, it's obvious that the people in Venezuela are disenfranchised and that their state is falling apart. But I find this to be the least effective way to combat that.
Oh, I'm not saying that staying home is the best way to combat, out of control government. But at the same time, when everything about the election is rigged, then I don't know if I can necessarily trust the results, even if turnout was somewhere higher than 17%.
Yeah.
Let me continue with the article. They say, even though official results have not been released, few believe that Maduro's two rivals, Henry Falcon, the former governor of Lara State, and Javier Butucci, an evangelical pastor, stood a chance. While some polls showed either man could have beaten the deeply unpopular Maduro given normal turnout, an opposition boycott destroyed that hope, according to someone
boycotting
from a polling
elections.
firm.
So I want to ask the listener, is there any effectiveness to boycotting an election? Oftentimes, my listeners, many people will listen to the show, and they'll say that voting is immoral. They'll say that they're boycotting election. They'll have a variety of reasons, and I'd love to hear somebody call in and make that point, because I don't get it. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I would have gone and I would have voted for somebody who wasn't Maduro. Yeah, this Falcone guy and this other guy who's the evangelical Christian, they're certainly not going to be, to my mind, the best choices. But that doesn't matter. They're not Maduro.
The article here continues. Jesus Seguias with Dayton Corp, which is a polling firm, said in a statement, even if Maduro were prepared to engage in outright ballot stuffing to win the race, the elevated abstention made that unnecessary. From the onset Sunday, it was clear that there was no regular vote, as social media was flooded with pictures of desolate polling stations. State-run television used tight shots to hide the meager lines.
What did they do with all those extra ballots that they had prepared to stuff the ballot box? I mean, what do you do when you're prepared to stuff a ballot box and nobody shows up? Do you just stuff it anyway and say, because I know that one of the things that was reported by, I don't know, the lecture minister or some person like that, was essentially millions of people had voted by 10 o'clock or something.
Right, and the same Venezuelan government that claimed to have raised billions of dollars on their ICO for their petro cryptocurrency, even though you can actually look to see that nothing has left the cryptocurrency thing, that none of the tokens have left.
Right.
But they've raised billions, allegedly.
I suppose they could have raised billions without distributing any tokens, but it seems unlikely.
An exit poll by, I'm not even going to try pronouncing this firm, estimated that only 17% of the 21 million registered voters even went to the polls, compared to the 80% during the last presidential election in 2013. Exiled opposition leader Antonio Ledesma called it an epic act of civil disobedience.
It's not epic. It's just laziness.
Well, here's the
question. It's not interpreted as anything effective. How's that?
Well, here's a question that I don't necessarily know the answer to. I know that there are some countries where voting is mandatory.
Like Australia.
Mexico. There are some countries. If voting is mandatory in Venezuela, then staying home is an act of civil disobedience.
Okay.
Amid anti-government rallies, or rather they said anti-government rallies were held in dozens of cities around the world, including in Miami.
I will say that if voting were mandatory, then I would go ahead and say that would be more meaningful to stay home, because at that point, people are willing to face jail than vote for Maduro.
Right.
Now, that I would call it. So, but I'm not going to advocate for elections to be mandatory. At the same time, I say if you don't go and vote and elections aren't mandatory, you're not saying anything. 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com. If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about, including the Venezuelan election, as Ian and Darryl continue to tell us exactly why we should feel good about ourselves for not living in Venezuela. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I want to tell you my Blink home security system. I was recently out of the country. I was in St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, I was in St. Kitts, which is part of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I was getting updates right on my phone of when the cat would walk by the camera in my house, which is usually what happens nonetheless. But I could, right then, I got it, and I can see what's going on at my house. I turned on the camera at one point just to take a look. See what was going on.
There's the cat's butt.
Yeah. Well, in that circumstance, I was going to see if my wife and son had gone to bed yet. And they had. So there you go. It's 11:30, and they were in bed. So.
They were in bed, and there's the cat's butt.
Yeah, the cat was probably sleeping on the bed with my wife at that point. So you can save on this Blink system. You can get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, and you get 15% off. It's better than I got. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL. It's a great system, and it'll let you know anywhere in the world what's going on in your house within seconds. Seconds. Because I know if I go to the bathroom at certain times of night, I walk past, I set the cameras off, I hear my phone update. It's seconds. blinkprotect.com/FTL for 15% off. Let's go to Jimmy calling in from Tennessee. Jimmy, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. As far as the concept of not voting, abstaining from a vote, I've heard the perspective that, especially it applies, I would think, in the Venezuela situation, by not voting, it's a vote of no confidence in the system itself.
So
that they no longer are confident that democracy in their country is viable from the standpoint of Maduro's going to rig the election either way. So if 80% of the people show up, Maduro wins anyway, he can say the people have spoken. But by not showing up, he can no longer say the people have chosen me to be their president.
I bet he does.
People obviously did not. So he will. And every president always makes that claim, right? No matter, they make the claim here, but it's not accurate to say the people unanimously want this president to do that.
But even in municipal elections, and I recalled, what was it, like 6-7 years ago, there was a mayoral election in San Antonio where I was living at the time. Voter turnout was 7%. The mayor got reelected with 80% of the vote. And the headlines weren't voter turnout incredibly low, vote of no confidence. No. The headlines were mayor reelected in a landslide, mandate for the mayor.
Yeah, which the other thing you have to consider, state-run media, that's going to be the headline either way.
Well, it's not state-run media, but yeah, I mean, this is but
in Venezuela.
Well,
I'm talking about an election in San Antonio, Texas.
So that's the point.
Absolutely, I get that too.
I would have to say that the idea that that's a vote of no confidence, Jimmy, is at the very if it's not untrue, and I'm not going to say it's not untrue. I'll concede that. Fine, it's a vote of no confidence, but it's not a vote of no confidence if nobody recognizes that it is so. It is, and no one recognizes that it is so. I think there's been one presidential election in the history of the United States where 50% of voters voted, and not 50% of the population. 50% of voters voted.
Yeah.
And big whoop. I mean, George Washington was elected with 2.5% of the people in the United States voting. And no one says, well, he was not a legitimate president. We don't even have that conversation going on. So
and
there's no place to start. It's been decades that people have been talking about voting being immoral, and this is what they achieve, which is Zippo.
And I don't know if there was really a vote for president when George Washington got elected the first time, because it was basically the electors got together, and like the concept of electors being chosen by popular vote didn't really come along for a couple of cycles.
I thought that was in the Constitution.
Oh, it's in the Constitution that the electors vote for president, but how the electors are chosen is up to the states, and it is not a requirement.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So, I mean, no one says Washington wasn't legitimate.
Thanks. I get that. And my point is, in the extreme situation of somewhere like Venezuela, I don't know what to say that, they could come out and vote for this guy or that guy. If the people know that no matter who they vote for, they're going to get Maduro again, then they don't want to be, they object to being part of that process that elects him, whether he's going to end up there either way.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what would happen. I mean, obviously, to me, I would rather somebody have to rig an election. I would rather them look to stuff ballot boxes or whatever it is, rather than handing it over to them. Because if you hand it over to them, then they get their woohoo election, and then whatever organization may or may not come in and audit the election, which at that point it's a completely fair and above board election, and you just handed it to them. Make them work for it is what I would recommend.
I see that too. I'm not saying that I would or wouldn't abstain, but that's the argument that I've heard in the past.
I've heard the same
towards abstaining to voting. In tyrannies, in harsher tyrannies in Venezuela, than that being kind of
the harsher tyrannies.
An indicator that it's the election is rigged.
Yeah,
that people aren't showing up.
But in the harsher tyrannies, they always show up because they'll die if they don't.
You have to show up, and we know who you're going to vote for already. So.
Indeed. Thanks for the call, Jimmy.
Yeah, because in the harsher tyrannies, they don't even give the illusion of you have a choice. Do you want to vote for Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, that's about all you get.
That's really the only option.
Yeah, that's the choice. What can I tell you? I would rather make them work for it, would be my philosophy on this.
The Miami Herald article continues. Maria Carolina Funmayor said it's not a secret that Maduro is going to win because of this, as she gestured towards the empty voting station. She says, I think the opposition is making a mistake. If we want to get rid of this government and they give us the chance to vote, why don't we take it? That question has haunted the race since Maduro first called for snap elections in January, with many of his main rivals in jail, sidelined, or exiled. The opposition.
Jill?
Incarcerated, Mark. They're incarcerated, sidelined, or exiled from the country. The opposition decried the vote as illegitimate and deeply unfair. To participate, they argued, was to give the election legitimacy.
I think they're wrong, but whatever. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live. I can't help you have a crappy accent. Jill, Rill, Dill.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click tips, tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
We are discussing what's going on with Venezuela, the election, voting, that sort of thing. And you're welcome to discuss that topic or any other. I want to tell you about my pillow.
It's a great pillow.
It's a great pillow. I recently traveled and didn't bring my pillow with me. Just didn't have room. It was either the jiu-jitsu gi, and I knew I would be rolling. I didn't use the gi, though. And or the pillow, basically, is what it came down to. And I chose the gi over the pillow. I should have done the other thing. I made a mistake. I'm willing to admit it. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have made it the same one again, but I made it. And I had to sleep on down pillows, and my neck hurt. You don't have to live like this if you don't want to. Not only does MyPillow hold your head and neck in the right position, helps to prevent headaches, keeps neck pain and these sorts of things. Also, you can wash it. God knows what kind of horrifying, creepy crawlies are in these down pillows in which I was sleeping.
You were also in like a hotel.
I was in a hotel, but other people have used those pillows.
Right. I'm just, pointing out it wasn't like you went over to your mom's house or something.
Yes. Well, there you go. You can go get a MyPillow for 50% off with this code FTL at MyPillow.com. If you don't like it, you get the first 60 days to try it, and you get your money back. It's a pretty good deal, considering what it can do to prevent headaches and neck pain and just your overall health by not having those dust mites crawling all over the place. MyPillow.com, code FTL. Let's go to the calls. We've got Matthew calling in from Louisiana. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening, Mark, Darryl.
What's going
Y'all
on?
were talking about luck and success.
Right.
And I would contend that luck is when opportunity and preparedness meet. And I can give you an example of that from our own industry. There, in 2015, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, the BOM, passed a regulation on cast iron bridge plugs that basically required everybody who sold these things to be able to track them back to the mill where the steel that was used to produce these tools was cast.
That's pretty far. All right. I'm not even sure what a cast iron bridge plug is, but all right.
Well, it's an oil field tool for sealing off a well.
Sounds like an important thing.
And this has happened because one of our competitors' tools failed rather catastrophically and took some poor guy's head off. And not to mention cause a blowout. So we had been moving in this direction at the company I work at all along because we figured the industry was kind of heading this way. But even we were surprised by it because they didn't say they were considering this thing. Apparently only the big boys were in on the discussion about this. And so everybody was like, surprise! And a lot of little businesses, little shops that weren't ready for it, well, they just kind of had to shut their doors.
That happens with regulation, and it's generally written by the big guys, and it generally takes out the little guys.
Yep.
Right. And the big guys are the ones who are informed by the regulators, hey, the regulation is a-coming, we want your input.
Chances are good they are the ones that wrote it for the guys that are then bringing it in place.
That's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
But we were ready for it, and we just sailed right through it like a duck through water.
I'm glad that you're able to pull it off. Not everybody was. Thanks for the call, Matthew. The number is 855-450-3733. Let's go to David calling in on Skype from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, more precisely, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Gotcha.
Yes. You had indicated last week, I believe it was, you had some questions on the economy and living on next to no money, like $200 a month, or plus or minus, depending on what kind of situation you can find or make happen. What questions did you have, Mark?
What it's like to live on $300 a month?
Yeah. So, like, for instance,
I think the first things that I'd want to know
was that the question?
Yeah, I think I had asked about it last week, and so I was. He's calling to give me an opportunity to ask some questions. Where do you get this cheap housing to be able to live on $300 a month?
Well, I bought an acre of land, which costs for $900 cash. You can buy an acre of land, and so you can do any of a number of different things for housing on it. In my case, I was going to do something else, but I had the opportunity to buy some old throwaway single wide mobile home.
Okay, you get a cheap single wide, put it on an acre of land. What about septic and all those things to make it legal?
Septic, you need to get a contractor to sign it off nowadays, which isn't too difficult. You can do the labor yourself and then have like with most things, plumbing, electrical, whatever. You get a contractor that's willing to, you give them, $200, $300, $400, whatever, to monitor the project and sign it off to their standard, with their license. You can put the septic in yourself, buying the pieces as you need, the materials as you need from the Home Depot or wherever.
Okay. Sounds like it's possible. If you're going to do this, you're going to have some kind of transportation back into town. So $300 a month doesn't usually mean particularly good transportation. What are you using to get back and forth?
Historically, what I've done basically all of my life is I've always bought vehicles with cash for anywhere from a couple $100. The most I ever paid for a vehicle was $2,000.
Yeah,
just because I wanted to. Yeah.
So it's that $1,000, that magic $1,000 running vehicle. There's usually some cost to keeping it going. If you can turn your own wrenches, that helps. But nonetheless, I do tend to think that vehicle is, I would actually recommend the $5,000 vehicle. But
yeah, in this case, this is a $500 pickup truck, which included a topper on it, and I've been driving it for 8 years, and the only thing that I've done besides change the oil, that kind of thing, is I put a new starter on it myself for $35, and that's the only thing.
Is it a Datsun?
That's been done to it. No, it's a Ford Ranger.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so what kind of food are you eating at $300 with an entire monthly budget of $300?
Well, first of all, let's clarify that I have lived on $200 a month. I can do it whenever I need to. The idea is that, you don't want to have to live that way, but you want to be able to do it for security purposes. And also, you don't have to go take some crappy job you don't want because you have to have $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000 a month because you have the ability to get by on $200. I'm not currently living on $200, but if I was living on $200, first you would want to have whatever garden that you could pull off, depending on your circumstances.
You should have a garden anyway, just for the tomatoes.
Exactly. And then you can have your chicken and your eggs and your whatever other livestock, like you have pigs at home that you use for meat. Other people
They're all in
cattle.
heaven.
Exactly. You have them in the freezer at home. and then basically all around the world, even in gourmet restaurants, the base for many expensive meals is a bed of rice, beans, pasta, and so that gives you the calories, the carbohydrates, and then you flavor it and season it with your vegetables and meat and whatever. So it really doesn't cost all that much if you're careful about how you do things to eat each month.
Yeah, I think you can. If you really got to cut, beans and rice are as a way to keep good nutrition. Darryl, you keep on a pretty low budget as far as food too.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. David, hold the line here just 1 minute, if you would. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live. I want to get in this final segment and talk about ways that people can save money, because sometimes they really do. You never know. We really have to. You never know what's going to happen. 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Our homegrown small business tries to help people just like us. That's why we design and test our handmade products with great care before we introduce them to the public. You can easily find Sunny Bay heating pads on Amazon. Just go to Amazon.com and search for Sunny Bay heating pads.
Free Talk Live.
This was the quote from the DEA's paperwork. Only products that were primarily intended or designed for use in injecting, ingesting, inhaling, or otherwise introducing marijuana and other controlled substances into the human body.
Injects marijuana?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how out of touch these people are.
They're trying to make it look like marijuana users are strung
Injecting
out
things.
heroin junkies.
Right.
And it's just not true.
No.
Look, if you were to ever even try to put plant material in a syringe and inject that into your veins,
It's going to go poorly for you.
it's going to work once. You're going to get high one last time if you even make it to that point.
Yeah. That's not a good idea.
Never in the history of marijuana consumption has anyone ever injected it into their veins.
Yeah. Kids, don't try that at home.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Final segment of Free Talk Live. David from New Mexico called in, and we were discussing ways to sort of live on not just a budget, but an extreme budget. Now, David's done it. Extreme budgets. David's done it as a single guy, and whether he liked it or not. But, and Darryl, you've done the same.
Not as extreme as you're talking about.
No, but you seem to know how to make a penny squeal, best I can tell. My wife has the same ability. I've never had to worry about this stuff. I went we went a couple of years pretty hardcore budgeting at my house, and as a result, we're able to pay off the house. And that was a really great day, no doubt. And part of it had to do with not living extravagantly, having cheap car, and, just a beater, basically.
Right.
And growing a little bit of our own food. I'm not entirely sure that growing your own food is particular savings or anything like that. I think you should do it for the tomatoes.
It's not always economical, and there have been various studies that show, like what size you actually need to have for things to actually wind up being economical, as far as David had mentioned chickens and pigs and rabbits.
Those eggs are a great source of protein. It's hard to argue with that. But if you just get store-bought ordinary eggs, they're not very expensive.
Right. But again, it depends on how many chickens you have and what you're feeding the chickens. And then there's a breaking point at which it becomes economical to raise chickens.
Darryl, what's your one point you'd make to people as far as saving money when it comes to food purchases? Because I know
don't eat out.
Yeah, that's the number one.
That's the biggest thing, is a lot of people eat out several times a week.
Yep.
And I would say that I generally will eat out twice a week.
Right.
And both of those are social events. So
that's when you feel like living extravagantly. I've seen you choose not to do that, too. You just hang out and enjoy a glass of water.
No. So a lot of times I'll get to Social Sunday early before there's a line.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already eaten by the time most of the people show up to our weekly social thing. But Social Sunday, which is the weekly libertarian gathering. And then on Tuesdays, I go to running club. And I'll generally eat something at the sports bar after going for a run.
So, David, what are the other areas where people can save? We've got transportation, housing, food.
Now, I will say on transportation,
Hold on, I'm asking David a question here. Got something else?
Just giving you some numbers. For instance, when you have an old vehicle like I do, I only buy minimum liability only, which is $92 twice a year for your insurance. And when you buy a low dollar piece of property like I did, and then live in an inexpensive dwelling, my property taxes are only $50 a year.
Whoa!
And so that helps. And then the communications, my biggest bill is the cell phone that I'm talking to you on. I got full blown everything on Verizon, so that's $92 a month. That's my biggest expense. When we covered it, we got food, insurance, and you don't buy homeowners insurance because your home is paid off, so you don't have that bill. What else have we? Water. In New Mexico, half the people that live outside the city haul water because they haven't invested the $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a well, and I haven't yet. So I'm still hauling water. So I get that water for free. I just have for my labor to go, make a trip every couple weeks and get a load of water.
Where do you get it?
So water. I go to, there's a church nearby that part of their mission is providing water to anybody who needs it, that they can come and haul it from the church if they want to. Huh. They have a nice
and then you've just got a big tank that goes in the back of your pickup truck that you carry the water in and they put it in your cistern?
Yeah, exactly. So water, sewer, trash. We covered sewer, trash. Obviously, you're taking care of your own trash and recycling in, whatever the different options that you have. And sure, what other bills people have.
David, I got more calls coming in. Everybody wants to talk about the same topic. So thanks for the call.
Okay. Yep.
David, Darryl, you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say on transportation, if you live in something that's kind of like a city and you can either walk or bike most places, that saves you on gas.
And it saves you on health costs because you won't be as fat like me. Going on, Christian Anarchist calling on about economy cars. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I was going to give my advice as to what is that, because we're talking about saving money. I said, this is the best advice I can give people on what car is the best car to save money. And it's going to surprise people because they're going to, everybody's thinking Honda, Datsun.
Yeah,
whatever.
Honda Civic was what came to my mind when you said it.
Geo Metro.
But that's not the answer. Wrong answer. Too high a maintenance cost. The best thing you can do, if you're looking at the bottom line, unless you're driving 1 million miles a year, the best car you can buy is any of the big 3 American pickup trucks. They're cheap to maintain. They'll last forever. They're not the best on gasoline, but you can, you're going to save more money on maintenance and repairs than you will that you're going to lose on gasoline.
Do you mean the full-size pickup trucks, or do you talking about the economy-sized?
I would go full-size, simply because there's so many of them out there. There's about 1 million of them on the road. You get parts for next to nothing. You do need to learn how to do some simple things like replace alternators and starters and do your own oil changes.
Gets harder every year. Now, the oil change is relatively easy. They got these siphon things that you can buy out at Amazon. Just suck the oil right out. You got to figure out some way to dispose of oil. But nonetheless, there are lots of varieties of ways. As you can look on the internet, I'm not going to explain it to you. But doing oil changes yourself is pretty easy.
But I've been driving cars since the 60s, and I've had a lot of cars, and I've always done it on a dime because I've never had a lot of money until we started our business and did quite well. But prior to that, it was always trying to pinch a penny, and the best thing you can do is an old pickup truck. There's just nothing better.
Thanks for the call, Gene. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I have an old pickup truck, and it just depends on what you want to fix on it, I think, is what it comes down to. So, nonetheless, let's go to Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes. You know what? I met 4 people this morning, like 8 o'clock, that were clueless about the 20 polling places that are open. So I was telling them to go to Caracas Center, the pointing the fingers and everything.
Is this in Venezuela?
Like, oh, what you say?
Is this in Venezuela?
No, I'm talking about Albuquerque. We have a primary election.
Okay.
Hardly nobody knows that the polling places are open.
Well, that's the way it is with voters. They don't know. I mean, it doesn't. People just don't want to vote in local elections.
No, she's talking about the statewide primaries.
So what?
And
They're not going to vote in that crap
voting.
either. If it isn't about a president, they don't want to know anything about it.
I know.
Well, the thing about it is that the people that I met, all 4 of them, they wanted to vote, but I just gave them a reminder, and they were surprised that it was open already. So, you asked me a long time ago, you remember the years that Bush won New Mexico? Well, this is the very reason why New Mexico swings from red to blue all the time, flip around. I mean, you got to be like really aggressive in getting the vote out. Like really knock on doors and call everybody, pick them up. If there's years that
it's always benefited the Democrats to get the vote out. I mean, So what's that say about Democrats? They can't even figure out how to vote. Why would you want them to?
Well, but the thing is, like I said, that's all the dumb voters
Answer the question.
The majority of the voters in New Mexico. So then nobody votes. The needs of the state is not reflected. So you know what? You're right. It
How do
takes
you know
a lot of help.
If somebody's a poor voter, then why are they good at deciding what they need? And why should the state provide it? I mean, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't want to get the vote out. Not that I want Republicans to get elected, because that's not really my preference. If I would rather see libertarians make it into office. But nonetheless, I mean, I just have to ask myself, if you've got to get out there and get people voting, gosh, I mean, they probably didn't deserve to be voting in the first place.
Well, you know what? The more I think about it, they're like babies, little children when it comes to voting. It's something that, you know what? It's not something that they have to do. There's no penalty. So they don't want to think about it. So they're like little babies. You got to knock on doors. You got to call them like 10 times. You got to remind them at the checkout.
Would you want a kindergarten class to decide who's going to be president of the United States?
Well, you know what? But that's the way it is in New Mexico. And that's the reason
why it's not the way it is in New Mexico. It's the way it is everywhere in the world. Thanks for the call, Sarah. Appreciate it.
And the New Mexico primaries are actually on June 5th. So if you want to be informed, learn something between now and then.
It's probably a good idea. Venezuela, I guess that's over. Free Talk Live. You can check us out. freetalklive.com, Facebook page, Twitter, all that stuff.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It was a big night for music's hottest acts, especially for Lord Chillingsworth. In a shocking upset, the young artist took home the spookiest Halloween sound effect album Grammy for Creepy Night in Halloween Manor. Music blogger Ty Vaughn is here. Ty, what a shocker.
Lord Chillingsworth's track,